Hello friends, let us move on a unit number 4, isoparametric elements and the numerical integration. In this one, in a first video, we are interested into the introduction to the isoparametric element and the natural coordinate system. Unit number 4 compromises the following parameters, that is isoparametric elements and the numerical integration. The numerical integration is a mathematical terminology where we need to solve the problems and we get the solutions for that one. In this chapter we need to do the study of first of all concept of the isoparametric elements, the terms of the isoparametric, superparametric and the subparametric we need to clear in your mindset so that we can understand what is meant by the isoparametric. Then there is a coordinate mapping. We need to do the study of natural coordinates which we already studied into the previous lectures. Then the area coordinates, what is mean by that? There's the triangular elements, and for the triangular elements what is the area coordinates and how they are related with the natural coordinates and their mapping. Higher order triangular and the quadrilateral elements also we need to do the study into this one. That one are the Lagrangian and the serendipity elements. This also we have studied into a unit number 3. Then the geometric associative mesh quality checks, mesh refinement, that is P versus H refinement, means which one is the better, P is better or the H is better, which one is helping us to go for the closer solution for the closer solutions of the our FEM method. Then the uniqueness of a mapping, that is the whatever the Jacobian matrix, we need to do the study of this one, because during the assemblage we are facing some difficulties, because here in two isoparametric elements we are finding the functions are the partial differential functions, and ultimately we need to go for the assembling. That time we could not go for the directly derivative assembling. Instead of that one we need to find out the one term that is called as the Jacobian matrix. Then once we are moving through the Jacobian matrix, then we need to go to do the study of the numerical integration. Here we use the Gus quadrature method for the one direction and the two-dimensional method. As well as we need to do the study of the full and the reduce integration, submodeling and the substructuring. So ultimately there is a lot issues in unit number 4 we need to do the study. I feel that there is a lot of issues into this unit number 4 in examination. The evaluators are asking sometimes theory, sometimes the problems. Definitely I have observed the one or two problems on the numerical integration, but at the same time they are asking some problems on the area coordinates. Sometimes they are asking the questions on natural coordinates, conversion of your regular coordinate system into the natural coordinate system. They also asking for the meshing and all these. They also focus on a parametric, super parametric and the subparametric, as well as they focus on the Lagrangian and the serendipity elements. So ultimately I would say that in a unit number 4 there is a lot terminology, lot issues to do the study, and it is somewhat difficult comparative to the other units. So let us move with a introduction to isoparametric. Now what is meant by the isoparametric? Isoparametric means the parameters or the formulations, or we would say that the same function define the element define the element geometric shape as are used to define the displacement within the elements. Means these are the elements, these are a parameter which one is defining the element by the shape function, and this shape function is defining the geometry as well as the displacement. We knows very well we knows very well, this is my element, this is my element, let us take this is my element, and this is the geometry for this one. Now this geometry, let us consider this geometry is defining by a certain function, u is equal to function of something. So let us take this is the function of function of function of x function of x. So this one is defining, this is defining a geometry, this is defining a geometry. This is defining a geometry. Now when this function is used for defining the geometry, the same function, if I'm interested to find out the displacement of this this object, if I'm interested to, then the displacement is also defining by the same function, that is f of x, f of x, f of x, then that is called as the your same function, that is called as the isoparametric formulation or the isoparametric functions. So what is it? It indicates that the same function which define the element for geometric shape as well as for displacement shape. So displacement and the geometric shape is defining by the same shape function that is called as the isometric formulation. I repeat again that the element which define the geometry as well as the displacement by the same shape function, that is called as the isoparametric formulation. Mathematically we could say that the integration of 0 to L function of x dx, so this is my global coordinate system, that is 0 to L function of x dx is equal to, this one is the -1 integration of -1 to 1 function of s multiplied by Jacobian multiplied by ds, that is called as this is the transformation. Means what we did here, that the global coordinate system is transformed into a natural coordinate system because here the coordinates are -1 to 1 function of x into Jacobian multiplied by ds. So regular regular global coordinate system is transforming into a natural coordinate system, and then we are solving the problem, that formulation or that transformation are considered into the isoparametric formulation. So ultimately mathematically we need to first of all to learn that how to convert a global 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 coordinate system into the natural coordinate system, and later on we need to solve this natural coordinate system by using a Jacobian methods. So this is the difficulty mathematically to solve or to manipulate the isometric formulation. So let us take that is as I mentioned into the definition, that is the same shape function. So u is my geometry is defining by a shape function, that is a1 plus a2s. Similarly, that is x is also, sorry, x is a shape and u is a displacement. So x is defining as a1 plus a2s, as well as the displacement is also defining as a plus a2s. Then this shape function, both are the same shape function. So if both are the same shape function, then same shape function for defining the geometry and your displacement, then that is called as the isometric function or the isoparametric formulation. So isoparametric element equations are formulated by using a natural or the intrinsic coordinate system. So now the classification. So what is that? If the shape function defining the boundary and the displacement are the same, the element is called as the isoparametric element. Now let us take, this is my element, whatever the element we have considered here, and into this element, this is the symbol for displacement, and this one is the symbol for the defining the geometry. Now here you see there is a nodes around 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 nodes are there. 8 nodes are there. At every node, just to define the geometry, this is the symbol. And at 8 nodes, this is the symbol just to defining the displacement. Now into this figure you have seen that the equal number of geometric symbols as well as the displacement symbols are available. So when this geometric symbol and the displacement symbol are same, then that is called as the isoparametric element. That is called as the isoparametric element. Means what? The elements in which more number or the elements, the shape function defining the boundary and the displacement are the same, the element is called as the isoparametric elements. Let us move on the second classification, that is a superparametric element. The superparametric element. Now here again see that the symbols of a geometry. Now this circle, this circle is showing, the geometric representation. This one is showing the geometry, and rectangle showing the displacement. So what we observed here, there are the 8 nodes, and here that elements geometric elements. Now see here, that is the geometric elements are more than your displacement symbol, means the element in which the more number of nodes are used to define the geometry compared to the number of nodes to define the displacement are known as superparametric elements. What is that? The elements again, let us move. The elements in which more number of nodes are used to define the geometry compared to define the displacement are called as the superparametric element. So you can see here that these nodes are more, circular nodes are more, those which are defining the geometry, that's are the more comparative to the displacement, hence this is called as the superparametric. So superparametrics means more, superparametrics means mg. What is that? More geometry. Again we can remember this one, mg, that is super mg. So what is that? Super Mahatma Gandhi. So what that? more geometric nodes, then that is called as the superparametric, as well as the subparametric. So when we are going for the subparametric elements, then in a subparametric element in which the less number of nodes are used to define the geometry compared to the displacement, then that is called as the subparametric elements. So the nodes required to define the geometry is less than nodes required to define the displacement, then that is called as the subparametric element. So that is called sub LG, less geometry. Here super, that is more geometry. So that is the definition, or this is the classification of the subparametric and the superparametric parameters of the elements. Now let us move on a natural coordinate system. This we have already studied in the unit number 3, that the conversion of my global coordinate system into a natural coordinate system. Natural coordinate system is moving from -1 to 1, while the global coordinate system is moving from 0 to infinity. So there is a transformation from this system, from global coordinate system to natural coordinate system. So here is a natural coordinate system is a coordinate system which permits the specification of a point within the element by a set of dimensions number whose magnitude never exceed unity. Let us take the bar. There are the two nodes x1 and x2. At a point 1 and 2 is the nodes, and the one particular point x at a point p, and where the weightages of this point is L1 and L2. So here I can say that this space to this space is L1 x1, and this space is the L2 x2. So and the distance between this one is x minus x1, and this one is the x2 minus x1. So this is x, so this is the x2 minus x, and this one is x1 x minus x1, because this is the x, and this total distance is L. Now we are converting this, we are trying to find out the conversion or the transformation from this global coordinate system, transformation from this global coordinate system to natural coordinate system, and for that purpose let us move for the derivation. So what is that? L1 plus L2 is equal to 1, then L1 x1 plus L2 x2 is equal to x, because this is the point we have considered. Now these things are converted into the matrix form. So here you can observe this is L1 and L2 is available in both the terms. So I'm keeping this L1 is here and L2 is here. So this is my matrix. So this is my singular matrix. This is my singular matrix L1 and L2. Now remaining terms. Now here there is, if this one is the L1 and L2, then here only the 1 in 1 and this is 1 is remain. So this is the 1. Here is a 1 and here is also the 1, because this term multiplied by this one, so this term multiplied by this one is the L1 plus this is the L2, so this is the L2, so that this is the row by column. So how many row are here? That is the one row two columns. Here two one column two rows. So ultimately one column and two rows. Okay, so that row multiplied by column, I am getting the only one term, and that is equal to L1 plus L2 is equal to 1, and here that is x1 x2. Okay, so this one are the remaining terms. So this one is the x1 is remaining term and this is the x2 term. So this conversion into the matrix form playing the very important role. You need to focus on this one. Conversion of this regular coordinate system into a matrix form playing the very vital role, and you focus on that how it will be prepared. So this 1 and x is here, L1 L2 are the common terms, so writing here, and remaining terms, so here 1 L1 and L2 is here, so this is 1, this is 1, here x1 and this is x2. So this is the matrix form of a linear equation, matrix form of this linear equation. So first of all we are transforming a linear equation form into the matrix form. Once this one is the converted into the matrix form, then we can find a lot things. Now this one is the L1 L2 singular matrix is equal to the 1 x1 x2, this matrix, inverse of this matrix multiplied by 1 and x matrix, inverse and x singular matrix. So just by using the cofactor method, just finding a cofactor method, we are able to find out a a inverse of this matrix, and by using cofactor method we are finding the inverse of a matrix, and this cofactor method we already studied in the chapter number 3. So by using a cofactor method I am getting this one. This is the determinant of my matrix. Then this one is the cofactor of transpose of the cofactor multiplied by these terms, and finally just by deriving this one we are getting these terms, that is x2 minus x upon L and x minus x1 upon L. This we have already studied in the unit number 2 and derived also. So here by using a transformation method we can very easily finding this solution. So in this way we can be transforming a linear equation into a natural coordinate system. Now there are some standard closed form of the integration. We know that x1 to x2, that is the L1 L2 P to Q. So there is a formula. By using this standard form we can convert any type of the process into a natural coordinate system. So 0 to L, L1 L3. So here what that P and Q. So this is 3 is P and the 1 is Q. So 3 multiplied by factorial of 1 divided by 3 plus 1, then the factorial multiplied by L. So 3 into 2 into 1, so factorial of this one, 3 multiplied by 1 is equal to 3, and the factorial of this one is this 3 into 2 into 1. Here the factorial of a 5 multiplied by 5, 4 into 3 into 1. So ultimately this is cancelled and this one is cancelled. So 5 by multiplied by 40. So uh, 5 multiplied by 4 is equal to 20, hence 1 by 20 L. This is the answer. This is the answer. Now let us move again on the natural coordinates in a two-dimension system. There is sometimes a theoretical question is asked: convert the two-dimensional system into the area coordinates, or just they are asking just define the area coordinates. And for this area coordinates definition, we are moving on this derivation. Now here again the same figure in a last one. What we have done here, we are considering this single dimension or the one dimension with a two nodes, writing into a linear form, and then this linear form is transformed into a matrix form, and then this matrix form is solved, and finally we get the solution. By using this method, we are here also we are defining the area coordinates. Now this is the diagram, this is the triangle, now against this one whatever the area is available, that is called as the A1 area. Against this node 2, whatever the area is available, this area is called as the A2 area. And against this one, this is the area, this is the area, so this area is called as the E3. So these are the different triangles available into this one. So what I did here, first of all, I am writing a linear equations for this one. So here this is the point called P, which weightages or parameters are L1, L2, L3. Hence L1, L2 and L3 is equal to 1. As previous one, L1 x1 plus L2 L2, L2 x2 plus L3 x3 is equal to x. Same way along this axis, along y-axis, L1 y1 plus L2 y2 plus L3 y3 is equal to 1. Hence whatever this term, whatever this linear equation, we are converting into the matrix form. For that one, L1, L2 and L3 are constant, and this one are writing into the singular matrix. Then remaining terms are writing here. So if we look here, this is if L1, L2 and L3 is written here, the remaining term is only 1. Here is only 1 and here is only 1. Here the remaining term is x, x2, x3, and this one is the y1, y2 and y3. These terms I am writing into the matrix form: 1 1 1, x1, x2, x3, y1, y2, y3, L1, L2, L3 is equal to 1 x and y. So that my L1, L2, L3 is equal to this term, inverse of this term. So this is the term, and inverse of this one multiplied by 1 into x into y. Now from this one, by solving this one, L1, L2, L3 is equal to 1 upon T1. Now this is the determinant, whatever the determinant we have calculated from this one, that is equal to twice the area of a triangle. This one is already mathematically proved. That's why I am directly writing here, that is L1, L2, L3 is equal to 1 upon 2a. Why this is writing? Because whenever I am using a cofactor method, that cofactor method is telling me that that is the inverse a inverse is equal to cofactor transpose divided by determinant of a. Now C transpose, that is the cofactor transpose. So cofactor is equal to, that is that is equal to cofactor of 1 1 is equal to minus 1 to the power if this is the C11, then here I need to write the 1 plus 1 multiplied by minor, determinant of a minor. So that minor is if this is the main term, then this can be cancelled, and this is my minor. So this is the minor, so I need to write here that minor. So whatever the figure or whatever the parameter come, then that is my cofactor, and that cofactor I put here. So here I put the cofactor, here I put the cofactor, here I put the cofactor, writing these terms very perfectly, and transpose of this one. So these terms, instead of this one I am writing, this is the A, this is the B, this is C. So A1, B1, C1. So according to that I am getting this parameter. This is equal to, where A1 is equal to this formula, B2 is equal to this, C2 is equal to this one, A, B1, B2, B3, C1, C2, C3. If you look here, so this is my A1, A1, A2, A2, A3, A3. Similar way, this is my B1, B1, B2, B2, and B3, B3, C1, C2, C3 also in the same way. Hence, this is the C1, C2, C3. So that I am getting finally L1 is equal L1, L2, L3 matrix is equal to A1, B1x plus C1y divided by 2. A2, B2x, C2y upon 2a, A3, B3, C2y divided by 2a. So this is the conversion or the transformation. But as we know, if I am interested to find out 2a1, then 2a1 is equal to this matrix, 2a1, 1 upon x upon y, 1 upon x2 y2, 1 upon x3 y3. Then 2a is equal to, by solving this determinant matrix, we are getting this value. What is that? A1 plus b1x plus c1y is equal to 2a1. Now how it will is solving that? Now this is the cofactor method. So if I am considering this is the 1, so 1 is written here, 1 multiplied by minor of this one. So if this is the process, this one is going, then the x2 y2, x2 y3, minus this is the x3 y3, x3 y2, x3 y2. Then for the second term, this one is the term, okay. Then the minors are this one. This is the x2 y3, x sorry x xy3, so xy3, and this one is the yx3 minus again, this is the third term, so this is the third term, okay. So the minor is x into y2, yes, and this one is the x2 minus x2y. So this is the my terms. So that x2 y3, this is the one term, plus this one is the x is come out, okay. So that y3 minus y1, and here the y come out, so this is the x2 minus x3. Hence that is a1 is equal to this one. This a1 is already defining here. A1 is this, A2 is this, A3 is this one, B1 is this one, B2 is this one, B3 is this one. So according to this, this is the A1 plus B1x plus C1y. By the same methodology, 2A2 is equal to A2 B2x C2y. Similarly, 2A3 is equal to A3 B3 C3. Hence L1 L2 L3 is equal to twice A1 upon 2a, twice a2 upon 2a, and twice a3 divided by 2a. So that is equal to 1 upon a1 plus a2 plus a3. Hence what we observed, where a1, a2, a3 are the areas of the subtriangles which are opposite to the nodes 1, 2, 3. That is hence the natural coordinates in triangle are also called as the area coordinates. So this is the derivation for defining the area coordinates are equal to the natural coordinates. Sometimes this question is asked in an examination in theory for the 6 to 8 marks. I hope you understand that how to transform into this video that's linear variables or the linear equations into the matrix form, how to solve the matrix form, and then get the natural coordinate relationship. Hope you also understanding the cofactor method of finding the inverse. Thank you to all.